What up, dude? What's up, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. This is the channel. I might not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm definitely going to tell you what you need to hear. But make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. But let's go ahead and get into it. So in case you didn't know, the New Orleans Saints took on the Los Angeles Rams for the rematch of the NFC Championship game last year. And we all remember this game because it was the infamous non-pass interference call that the referees missed. And it sparked the new rule by the NFL where coaches in the booth can now review pass interference, whether offense or defense. But the big story in this game was the injury to the star quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees, when it happened in an inadvertent high five with the defensive tackle from the Los Angeles Rams, Aaron Donald. Reports have come out that Brees has tore a ligament in his thumb, the UCL, and he's expected to be out at least 6 weeks. So unless you've been living in the rock for the past 15 years, it's known that Drew Brees is more synonymous with New Orleans than gumbo, red beans and rice, or even alligator nuggets. And out of his 13 years with New Orleans Saints, this will only be the second time he's missed action because of an injury. He's missed some other games, obviously, in the past when they've clinched the first round bye, but this will only be the second time because of injury. How this affects the Saints in the short term and the long term is the biggest question, because after last year getting so close, this is probably Drew Brees' last go round, and this is probably their best chance of getting the ring since they won the championship in 2009. I guess the most dramatic effect has been seen in Vegas because the New Orleans Saints Super Bowl odds went from 8-1 to 25-1. So the backup situation in New Orleans seemed pretty clear going into the season, with the former first-round pick Teddy Bridgewater signing a one-year deal, becoming the highest-paid backup quarterback in the NFL. Bridgewater was a free agent this past offseason after being traded to the Saints, and rumor had it that he had a chance to go back to the hometown team, Miami Dolphins, to be the starter, where he grew up and was born and raised. I guess it's safe to say he dodged that bullet because the Dolphins are horrible. But the situation with Bridgewater, he's only started one game within the past 3 seasons because he had a gruesome leg injury while playing with the Minnesota Vikings, and he was just coming back after possibly thinking that his career could be over. And in that one game he started was against the Carolina Panthers in Week 17 last season, where he struggled a little bit and the team lost. And also he had some action, of course, in mop-up duty versus the Rams Sunday, and he didn't look good there either. But the Saints do have another option at the backup quarterback position. The guy's name is Taysom Hill. This guy has done everything for the team, from being the equipment manager to the personal protector on the punt team. Head coach Sean Payton has been on record saying that Taysom Hill does give him Steve Young vibes, and that's mainly because of the athleticism that Taysom Hill possesses at the quarterback position. So the old saying in football goes is the backup quarterback is the most popular guy in town until he has to play. And this can be synonymous because Teddy Bridgewater was a fan favorite until he actually showed what he could do, and he struggled. Now you see that the backup quarterback, Taysom Hill, is the most popular guy to get the start, because they feel like if Teddy Bridgewater struggles and Taysom Hill struggles, Taysom Hill at least has his athleticism and legs to rely upon to create some kind of offense for them. Taysom Hill does have more experience being with Sean Payton and the team a little bit longer than Bridgewater, but he's had his struggles in his career throughout the preseason himself. But like I said, many fans point to that athleticism difference between the two being that crutch that can support Taysom Hill if he stumbles or struggles and falls in his action at quarterback. Bridgewater will most likely get the start this week at quarterback, but the dilemma that either one of these quarterbacks faces going into the next game is that teams will defend this offense different when Drew Brees is not under center. Alvin Kamara is the biggest impact player on this offense, but like we saw this past Sunday versus the Rams, teams are going to stack the box and pretty much shut him down and force the quarterback position to beat them. The biggest thing about Drew Brees and other elite generational quarterbacks like this in the NFL is that they have the ability to elevate the guys around them, even if they may not be the best players in the world. They have that ability to galvanize the troops and get the most out of their teammates. We've seen little-known names like Marcus Colston, Lance Moore, Devery Henderson, or hell, even Michael Thomas become household names simply off having success with the most accurate quarterback in NFL history, Drew Brees. And I know Michael Thomas is the second highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, and his numbers that he has throughout his career have been historic. But his lack of explosiveness and athleticism really doesn't put too much fear in opposing defenses, as he'll probably still get single coverage for the most part on the outside. This will make it very hard for him and Kamara to carry the load offensively without Brees there. Head coach Sean Payton is known to be one of the most creative and best offensive minds in the game of football. However, his mettle will really be tested because in those 13 years Sean Payton has been there with Drew Brees, this will be the first time he's had extended time without Drew Brees under center. So we'll see how he'll be able to get the most out of that quarterback position. Not to mention Sean Payton just signed a 5-year contract, so they'll definitely be getting their money worth out of him. So my question to you guys is, what do you guys think that the Saints should do at the quarterback position? And what do you expect from either guy? Do you have one preference or the other? Do you think the Saints will fall off? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. So the Kansas City Chiefs are a lot of people's Super Bowl favorites simply because their quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they're not wrong because this guy is simply ridiculous and the numbers he's putting up are just really wild. So yesterday was the first time in his NFL career that he hasn't scored in the first quarter, but he pretty much made up for it when he scored 4 touchdown passes in the second quarter. I mean, the Chiefs pretty much cruised from there because the final score ended up being 2018 with no team even scored in the second half of the game. So we know Patrick Mahomes really took the league by storm last year and put up some crazy numbers on his way to winning the MVP trophy in his first year as a starter. However, he seems to be on pace to smash those numbers that he put up last year. It's only been 2 games, but he's on pace to have over 6,500 passing yards and 56 touchdowns. Clearly, both of those numbers will be NFL records. My question is, why isn't this guy really getting as much recognition as he should be right now? And I know the New England Patriots have Antonio Brown and their defense has been dominant, but this guy Patrick Mahomes is walking 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every week. I just feel like after one season, we become numb to his greatness and the numbers that he's putting up. It looks like it's going to be a crash course already with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship again, but there is still a lot of football left, and there's plenty of time for that good old Madden curse to kick in and do the thing that it does. So we'll see if Patrick Mahomes can stay on his pace. We'll see if he can repeat that MVP trophy all over again. You guys let me know down below in the comments. Do you think Patrick Mahomes will repeat as MVP, and do you think they have a chance to win it all this year? So last night's Sunday Night Football game featured some hot bird-on-bird action as the Philadelphia Eagles took on the Atlanta Falcons. These teams have had their bouts over the past 2 seasons as the Eagles have been victorious in the past 2 times these guys have met. Biggest difference between those games and this game is that Nick Foles was under center for the Eagles then, and Carson Wentz was the starter last night. Things were pretty bad for both quarterbacks last night as Carson Wentz lost his top 2 wide receivers in Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. And the Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan had his own struggles as the Eagles brought several all-out blitzes throughout the night and forced Matt Ryan into 3 interceptions. The one constant was star wide receiver Julio Jones, who has historically had good games versus his Philadelphia Eagles secondary. But he's had his struggles getting to the end zone versus these Eagles because the last 2 meetings resulted in 4th down pass attempts to Julio Jones in the end zone and him not being able to come down with the catch. Last night that wasn't the case as Jones scored 2 touchdowns with none bigger than a 54-yard catch and run on 4th and 3 versus one of those Eagles all-out blitzes. Games like last night really let you know the impact of some of these wide receivers on the game. You see one quarterback bringing a knife to the gunfight with having no wide receivers on the outside, with another quarterback bringing a bazooka to the gunfight with having the best and most explosive wide receiver in the game on his squad. You know, it's always a constant debate who's the best in the game, but I think there's nobody even close to Julio Jones. And it's not just because he has a 300-yard game under his belt in his career, but he led the league in yards last year, and he's just simply genetically superior to anybody that's playing a position in the league right now. We know Jones has been seeking a new contract over the past 2 seasons, and he was finally rewarded a week ago by becoming the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history, signing a 3-year, $66 million deal, with all of it being guaranteed. Julio Jones has always been considered different as a wide receiver because he's not a diva and he plays the game the right way, but his patience was really tested as the Falcons really put off his contract discussions until the very last moment. It really makes you understand why guys do make a scene and stay home from training camp and practice, just because if teams don't think you're serious, they're going to test your patience to the very last minute. However, it's plays like the one he made last night which really shows you that he's worth every penny, and he's definitely got that crown for best wide receiver in the game. But this pretty much wraps up this mystery for me, guys. This is Aaron Duncan with the Next Day Blunt Sports Talk. You guys make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon when you need to subscribe to. That way you don't miss any videos when I drop them. So you guys make sure you take care. I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. See you next time. Peace.